mentioned those 2 Premier League games and Champions League games where they were in front and couldn't win. It's difficult, isn't it? He's finding his feet, a new squad, but trying to win and keep in touch at the same time. Yeah,
and also the issue with Rodri isn't helpful when you're starting him and then he has to go off with an injury. But it's a different Manchester City. They're trying to do something new. It will take time, and they're not as good as what they were. But because of what's happened this weekend, because of Arsenal's form, and because of Liverpool being beaten, this was a game that everyone would have been looking at City. It was a game for themselves. They had to win to keep up that little bit of momentum, to keep up with Arsenal, who look impressive. And it was a clean sheet. They didn't play well second half, but they got a really good start, a really good goal. And when you've got that beast up front, which is Erling Haaland, you've got an incredible chance to win football matches, because he was that piece of brilliance today when Van den Berg thought he could go head-to-head with him, could be as strong as him, could go as physical as him. You can't do it, because he's bigger, he's stronger, he's quicker than most, and that is exactly what he wants to do. And when the other centre-half is 20 yards away from you and the gap is glaring and you're playing such a high line, you can't afford to go in a physical battle with him, because he's pulling you around, he's scrapping. I used to do that myself, and I used to fancy my chances, but he's a good 5 or 6 inches bigger than I was, and that's what he wants to do with central defenders, is that he wants a physical battle, because more often than not, he'll beat you up. And because he's got everything to go with it. And not only the strength and the pace and all of those things, he's the best at that as well, as finishing as well. So ultimately, when you've got him up front, you've got a brilliant chance of winning football matches if he can keep the back door shut.
For club and country this season, only Spurs have stopped him scoring. Mm-hmm. It's astonishing.
Yeah, it's difficult to stop him in that sort of form for club and country. Of course, he scored, I think, 6 for Norway this season already. He's been immense. It's difficult. You see, like a lot of other centre-forwards maybe would have been bullied there in a sense, but it's actually the opposite. He's bullying the centre-half. And he, as you say, Van den Berg tries to fight him. It's a losing battle. And then again, has he got the finesse? And there wasn't much finesse with the finish, but has he got the finesse and the power to finish it off after the physical battle? The two right he has, and again, it's a brilliant take from him. And if Man City are to compete at the very top, then he needs to stay fit. He needs to stay on top of his game. And again, as I said before, it's not a difficult ball from Guardiola, but he makes it more or less the chance after that. Very difficult to defend against, Steve.
18 goals for club and country already this season. He has to stay fit, doesn't he? For them to be.
Yeah, there's no doubt. He, I mean, when seasons gone by, we've looked at Rodri and thought how brilliant he's been, and he has been. But ultimately, this season, if City want to challenge, which of course they do, he is the guy that has to stay fit, because without him, they're still a good team, but they're miles off what you'd have to do to challenge. So it's imperative he stays fit.
After the 39th minute, though, Manchester City didn't have an effort on target at all, which is not like the old Manchester City, no.
Yeah.
And Brentford had one very good chance, didn't they?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, when you play Man City as well, you don't get many chances, Steve, do you? This is their moment, this is their chance. And Thiago doesn't take it. Guardiola gets stuck under the ball with his header, and now it's a 1v1 situation. Now, albeit it's a 1v1 situation, he's one of the best goalkeepers in world football. And maybe his reputation went before him, but I don't think he ever got it out of his feet. As I say, Guardiola went underneath it. If you watch his touch, one half his touch, that touch, and then it's sort of, you can see Donnarumma comes out, closes the angle, makes the goal very small at this point, but he's still stuck within Thiago's feet. He never gets it away so he can get a powerful strike. See here now, this touch here, it's not a great touch, it's still under his feet. Donnarumma seizes that moment, gets closer, makes himself even bigger. When Thiago looks up at that point, you've got a 6'6" goalkeeper right in your face. It's a good block from Donnarumma, but again, you know, Al, you'd be disappointed from a centre-forward, maybe not to get it out of your feet and get a better shot.
What could or should he have done?
Well, he never sets himself. He never looks comfortable, and he's never in control of the ball, where in an ideal world he would want it. I mean, it's hard enough anyway when defenders are chasing you down, which they are, but it's even more difficult when you can't get the ball under control, and he never does. His first touch there, then his second touch, then what that then does is then it puts the goalkeeper in a really favourable position. Because the goalkeeper, because of your poor touch there, and again, he's able to set himself, look, he's ready for you. And it's one of those where who blinks first, but because those touches are so poor, he's not able to get himself ready, Thiago. And the goalkeeper for then is always the favourite to make the save. So he was never, ever comfortable in control of the ball, and that's what cost him.
And ultimately, in the way that game was played, that's a big moment because, as you rightly said, they weren't getting many, and that's the fine margins again.
Yeah, again, even the long throw wasn't that successful today. I think Man City set up really well. I mentioned to you, Al, they were sort of putting lots of bodies around the back, Man City, to sort of combat the flick on, and they never really got no success with that. So obviously, we have a go at set play coach, but they done their homework defensively, Man City, when it came to that long throw, and they didn't look like conceding.
What about right at the end with Donnarumma and Kevin Shearer?
Yeah. Well, it's a different Man City this year because of the goalkeeper as well. I mentioned he's one of the best goalkeepers in the world, but he's probably not one of the best goalkeepers with the ball at his feet. Look, he's looking for an option at this point. No one really shows. So you could say he dwelled on it and got a bit lucky because this could have went anywhere, Steve. We've seen it before. Goalkeepers getting closed down, ends up in the back of your net. So Donnarumma, I think he blew a sigh of relief when he seen that go by the goal, because I don't know who he's complaining at if his own players are not shown for it. But again, an Ederson would have picked somebody out, played out from the back. It's a different sort of Man City this year. He said they have to transition, they have to get used to how Donnarumma plays, and he's definitely not as good with the ball at his feet. There's
a different mindset for an opposing striker in Kevin Shearer's situation. He might not have done that with Ederson.
Yeah, well, because 99 times out of 100, Ederson's going to find that ball and ping it either out to the fullback, or he's going to find that ridiculous pass that he could do over the top that we saw so many times. You're not going to see that as much with Donnarumma, definitely not.
What about this milestone for Pep Guardiola then? 250 Premier League wins, the quickest to it by some margin, and he's beaten the likes of Sir Alex Ferguson and Arsene Wenger. We know it's a different Man City at the moment, but since he arrived, look at that, in 349 games, he's 250 victories.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal record, Stephen. It's an amazing record, and as I said before, the company's in there is some of the greats of the Premier League history, isn't it? And he's there rightly so. He's built a great team, a great squad, but he won't think of that record today. He won't think of that record the rest of the season. All he'll be thinking about is getting his hands back on the Premier League title. That's his aim. That's why he's at Manchester City. That's why, he's probably on that list, because he's so hungry for some more success. And again, they're in touching distance again of Arsenal, Liverpool at the top, and it's just, can they keep that going for the season? Because that's what Pep Guardiola wants. He doesn't want like a transitional year with new players and stuff like that. That's not his remit. His remit is to win the league.
I think with where they are, I don't think he'll be that bothered. I think he'll be quite content. Obviously, he would like to be sitting top with more points, but I think with the Club World Cup, with the issues that they've had, with the situation with Rodri, with the changes they're having to make and have made, I think he'll be quite content in knowing that in the past, we've often seen the best of Manchester City in the second half of the season, come Christmas time. He'll be hoping that they can do that again. I'm not sure they'll be able to have that push again, because, as I said, I don't believe they'll ever get to those standards that he took them to. But I think, in his mind, he'll be quietly content where they are at the minute.
Yeah, no, definitely. But the other thing that people aren't mentioning, I don't know why, they aren't mentioning Manchester City for the title. Everyone's talking about Arsenal, everyone's talking about Liverpool, and no one's mentioned them. And I think that could play into their hands as well, possibly. I still think they have to tighten up a little bit at the back. I do believe that. But again, going back to Haaland, Foden and the likes, hitting form, looking really sharp in front of goal, I think they'll be thereabouts come the end of the season.
OK, let's hear from the man who has just won his 250th Premier League game. Here he is, the Manchester City boss, Pep Guardiola.
Well, Pep, congratulations. Is that relief, joy, perhaps a mix of both? How do you reflect on today?
No, good. They had one chance in the first half and one duel that we lost, but part of that, OK, more corners, more throw-ins, more actions, and the rumours for the Premier League always is there, but we don't concede. And yeah, we played an outstanding first half that is closing our best in many things. The problem is when you don't score goals, and the chances that we had, and Heller make a good saves is more difficult. In Premier League, second half we 1-0 always happen, but we don't much or more tired. Of course, we attack less the spaces, but in general, really pleased for this month since United game. The team grew up a lot in many things, and yeah, hopefully we come back healthy the players for the national team.
This is it. I mean, there were huge positives in that first half. When you've got 75% of the ball, though, at the break, and it's only translating to 4 shots on target, why do you think that is?
Because there are 10 players behind the ball, right? So there are another way, it's just a piece, another way that you defend deep and run in transitions, say 40 meters. So yeah, we could concede more, but it was so clear the chances, and the other ones were blocked in the last shot, and but we were there. So, but the process was really good, and from here, I always try to build. Always, from my experience, when we won, it's because we play good, not because a lot or not or less chances. So, and the game was there.
I suppose as the game grows on, you mentioned there are 10 players behind the ball. How much of a mental challenge does it then become for the players?
But from my experience already here, when 1-0 second half, away games, or even at home, always it's tight, everything can happen. They put the ball there, they are told, but we defend really good the throw-ins and everything. So last season here, we could not win. We happened this season.
We saw you embracing Erling Haaland at the end there. I think that's 18 goals now in 11 games, all competitions, club and country. What were you saying to him?
Keep going. He was tired, but keep going. Have been so important for us this season, I would say. We need more goals than the other ones, but the chances was there. So the winger have to score more goals. The winger have to create in situations 1 against 1 or 1 against 2. They have to finish more. But yeah, step by step we do it. As much as we are solid with the team in our game, we'll be fine.
Perhaps the only real negative on today is Rodri. Could you first confirm exactly what it is he's done?
I was right, no? When you asked me in the beginning of the game why I don't play 90 minutes all the time, the journalists always ask me why substitution against one. So hopefully, yeah, if he's injured or felt something, hopefully will not be huge.
Just before you go, 250 Premier League wins. That's the milestone that you've reached today. You're the 4th manager to do it, and you're the fastest as well, beating the likes of Sir Alex Ferguson, David Moyes, Arsene Wenger. You've so many accolades. What does that mean to you?
I will invite them, all of them, to dinner. I think it's an honor to sit in a table with them, so it's not bad. So it's 10 seasons, right? So it's many games, and of course 250 victories is a lot. I don't know how many games, but yeah, it is faster for one reason. It's because we won a lot, right? So we won a lot, and that's why you made a point. It's nice to. I didn't know it. It's nice, and yeah, I will call Sir Alex and Arsene to go one day. I will invite Sky to be present there. Okay?
Oh, please do.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brett.
Thank
you.
Be some dinner party, that, in all fairness. And David Moyes, of course, if you can get him around the table, was the first victim in charge of Sunderland in Pep's very first Premier League win, and he actually faces David Moyes next after the international break at the Etihad against Everton. Wouldn't mind an invite to that dinner party.
Get our name on the invite list would be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah. Glass of red, maybe.
In terms of what he's saying, you can tell he's rebuilding, but he's happy with the way it's going at the moment.
Yeah, I would reiterate what I said. I think he would be quietly content, not 100% satisfied. Pleased with the first half performance. Yeah, it's what we said. They were really good, but the only problem is they didn't put the game to bed at half time. Should have had another 2 or 3 goals for all the dominance. And you're right, when it's only 1-0, I don't care who or where you're playing, when it's only 1-0, at some stage the opposition, if you don't punish them and put the game away, the opposition will get one chance. And that was the case today. They did have that chance, and Thiago missed it. They went through one-on-one, as we've seen. That was their big opportunity. And then it would have been really interesting to see how they would have coped, given what's gone on in the last few games when they have conceded. But, yeah, deserve great credit. They're 3 points off top. And for all the issues and everything else that they've had, Man City, yeah, I would stick to my point and say he's reasonably happy.
He didn't really give us a diagnosis there on Rodri, but
no.
But that's the critical news that that every City fan will want, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a worry. You know, it's the same leg where he done his cruciate ligament last year. He was such a big void in the team, wasn't he? You know, he won the Ballon d'Or the season before, and we could see last year why he won the Ballon d'Or, because it's such an important part of this team. You know, we talk about defensively giving up too many chances. If you've lost Rodri again, which clearly they have today, you know, straight away he knew Steve. He signalled over to the bench. You know, you can see the shaking head. He knows it's something relatively serious. I know Pep didn't answer properly there And he did have a little pop at journalists asking why do you keep taking Rodri off. He knows the player. He knows, you know, how long he's been out. He knows how long it takes to get back up to full speed. To get to the Rodri we all know and love. What he also mentioned, I think, in his interview there was interesting. They need goals from elsewhere. He mentions not just Haaland. We talked about Haaland before. You know, if something happens to him, they need goals from the wingers, even goals from midfield. They can't just rely on Erling Haaland, albeit he's a good man to rely on.
No, and obviously Phil Foden's looking more like his old self. They should have Marmoush and Cherky fit again.
And Doku's made a really good start to the season. I know he came on this afternoon, but he's made a really positive start to the season. He's been one of Manchester City's best players in terms of his end product. Going past players is vastly improved this season as well. So, yeah, he's another one that's impressed me.
But yet again, the win is down to one man and one man only. Here he is, Erling Haaland.
And as you can see, the man himself is joining us now. Congratulations, another goal. We saw you at the end, though. You were nearly not getting out to the Manchester City fans as you celebrated.
Yeah. No, it was a tough game and reminded me a bit about Stoke City with the lap 15 years ago. So lovely to win, you know, and important.
Did you find it a tough game then when you go back to Stoke City and Delap? Did you find it a physical battle today?
Yeah, of course. They are huge and they do throw-ins from the middle. So of course it's not easy, but it's about preparing. It's about being ready for what's going to come and to analyze good. And we did. We have a great backroom staff that did their job really well. So all praise to them.
I want to talk to you about your goal. You had a little battle with Van den Berg all game. And then once you had that, and that face says it all, that little bit, you have a bit of contact with him here. And then again, another one, and you push him off. And then talk to us about what you do from here. What are you trying to achieve?
First 5 minutes, he just kept on pushing me. So I was thinking, all right, let's have it. So then I started pushing him back. And this is, for me, this is a proper goal. I just love
You could have done that against me. With the strength, could you do?
No, with you just put me on the floor. You're easy. No, for me, this goal is top. He tries and the finish as well. No, this is for me one of my better goals because the whole thing, I think.
Does the physical battle in some ways fire you up even more? I mean, your face, people couldn't see that because we see the goal, but your face came alight when we talked about the physical battle.
Yeah, I think it helps me because, to be honest, I was a bit tired before the game. Going into the game, I was thinking, oh, it's going to be a tough game. But then after 10 seconds, he started pushing me and he starts motivating me. So all praise to him. Honestly, he made me want to do that.
Are you happy you're getting more chances like this, though? You used to playing against the low block with not many touches, but when you open up like that, it's just amazing to see.
Yeah, I think there is always space, even though people are low. You just need the right timing. I think you look at Monaco, the goal. There wasn't a lot of space, but I found the run and the perfect ball. So yeah, I like when people come like this against us as well. It's good. Low block is not easy, and you see it's not easy today as well with 3 big centre backs and 2 people in front of them, 5 people around us at all times. So that's why it's not easy, and that's why it feels even better.
It feels obviously when you look at those goals you're scoring, 9 in the Premier League. Is it fair to say that you're in the form of your life?
You can say so. I've never felt better than I do now. Yeah, you can say so.
Do you know why? Why are you feeling as good as you are feeling? Are you doing anything differently? Is it mentally? Is it physically? I mean, you've got 18 for club and country at the moment. Is it a mental thing, a physical thing? What is it?
I think it's about preparation, first of all, getting ready for the games. And I spoke so many times about it before. You can be physical ready, but you need to be mental ready as well. And to be honest, I think with a kid, it makes me even better because I actually disconnect more than ever. I don't think of football at all, which sometimes when you were a bit younger, you think of this and that and maybe worry a little bit about things. But when I go home, I relax even more. So I think I need to give a shout out to my son.
What are you eating? eating? Before you go, what are you eating? I want to know what you're eating. I want your diet.
It will come soon on YouTube, so give it 2 weeks, 2 weeks time, and you'll see it.
Listen, you've got to go off on international duty as well now, so thank you very much for giving us your time.
Thank you.
I mean,
thank you.
Michael wants to know what your diet is. I want to know how your kids relax you, because mine just stress me even more. But I mean, thank you.
Hopefully not.
Thank you very much. You could just see how look, just how relaxed
He's
he is.
unbelievable. I think when Jamie asked him the question, I think it was you asked him the question, he just expects to score all the time. I think when he brought to the club, remember listening to an interview with him and he was saying, it's his job. He believes he's world class. This is what he's here to do. He's been frustrated at times in probably last season, even though his goal record was still tremendous. He's just absolute specimen. I think sometimes when we're analysing the game and stuff, we talk about what he can't do rather than what he can do. And yes, he can improve in holding up the ball. But if you look at his movement in the box, it's just amazing. It's some of the best movement I've ever seen. People talk about, yes, his goal today was physical strength, running through, but his IQ, knowing when to go, when to hold his run and when to just pull out to the back post and get all these goals, it's just tremendous to see.
Yeah, I'll tell you what else you've learnt today, Mark, and every Premier League defender should be thinking this. Don't try to fight him. Don't kick him, cuddle him. Because as soon as you get into this kind of try to intimidate him, try to threaten him, try to get in front of him, you've turned him on. That's exactly what he wanted. And when they were asked the question, he said, first 10 minutes, I felt a bit tired. And then he started doing this to me, and I was like, okay, bring it on. I'll have some of you. And that's exactly what happened. So in the future, there's some... I always used to think, I played with Emil Heskey. Emil was like that. When someone got Emil angry, that's the sort of thing he could do. But if you were nice to him and let him have it, how you doing, Emil? Nice to see you. He wasn't so interested in it. And I think that's a little bit the same with Haaland today. They started this war, and he certainly finished it.
But then that begs the question for any central defenders or defenders in general who are watching this. What do you do with him?
Don't fight him. Don't fight.
But
don't get
the
involved.
instinct must be, if you've got a 6'3" centre forward who's a goal scoring machine, that you want to have a battle with him. So what do? You
retreat as soon as possible. As soon as the ball comes up, as soon as Guardiola's got the ball and he looks up, you drop off, because once you get into a physical battle with him, it's impossible. You know, you've got pace and strength, and he's got a conviction to finish it off as well. Just give yourself another yard.
But then what happens if you give him the space, though?
Yeah, but the space will be in front of him. If you give yourself 5 yards and the space is in front of him, we've talked about Haaland for a long time now about him holding up the ball. That is not his strongest part of the game. So I would be saying in that position, just let him have the ball as soon as he gets his touch, and then I'm engaging. That is a different. Vandenberg there tried to fight him, tried to go too soon, and before you know it, he's in a fight with him, and you're never catching him.
It's also a great insight to what goes on in an elite athlete's mind, because he said, I've never been happier off the pitch. And I think he looks like that, because sometimes when we've interviewed him, and we all stand, and sometimes he can be a bit surly, can score a couple of goals, he perhaps doesn't give you the interview that you'd like. That's the happiest I've ever seen him. We were lucky, we stood with him, because everyone else sees the analysis, but his face lit up when we were talking about that goal. And that gives you a little insight into where he is in his mindset and how comfortable he is in his own skin. And that's why probably he's in, I feel... You know, last year he started the season really well as well, but it just feels like his all-round game. And I think that, you asked him the question, with Man City at times been a bit more direct, that ball down the side as well. I think that's one of the most underrated balls in football. That's what he wants. He doesn't want the ball always into his feet. He wants to run the other way, because when he gets the other side of you, no defenders can deal with him.
He seems relaxed on the pitch as well, doesn't he? With his facial expressions as well, and a sort of, this is just what I do. Whereas, as Jamie says, there were times last season where he was still scoring goals, but cut more of a frustrated figure.
I think it was a little bit different today, because Brentford, there wasn't in a real low block. There was sort of mid-block wanting to drop off into that. So that allowed Haaland space. Yes, he scored a lot of goals, but we've said many times on this show, he's only had 4 and 5 touches in the first half. So that can be frustrating. I think now, whether he's scoring goals in the box, whether he's getting these opportunities, it just looks like he's happy. And I think that's the most important.
I noticed that when you tried to do a demonstration of how to deal with him, you used Jamie as who you were going to mark.
He didn't want none of you.
He did. He wasn't doing it with Erling.
He knows, Mark. He knows. And he won't do it to you either. He knows.
Erling, congratulations, another goal away from home and another 3 points.
Yeah, fantastic win and important before the international, so I'm happy.
We see it in the context of the week you've had, a tough away game in the Champions League and then a tough Premier League game. You had loads of the ball first half, loads of possession, loads of passing. You dominated the game. Maybe didn't create that many opportunities then.
No, first off, I think we did really well. We created chances. Tijani had a big chance to make it 2-0, but we didn't. And I mean, this is Premier League. Every place you go to is a different battle and in a different way. So Brentford did well with the long throws, with the way they play. But we managed to get another clean sheet with Gigi in goal. So fantastic again. And yeah, in the end. After not winning in midweek, you try to recharge and get ready for the next game. That's what you need to do. So in the end, we're all happy and now all focus on internationals.
Just that one big chance that they had when Igor Thiago is away. As a centre forward, when you have someone like Donnarumma, you're one-on-one with Donnarumma. Is it a little bit different from being one-on-one with somebody else?
Yeah, it's definitely. And he's so big, and he's the best keeper in the world. He just got the trophy at the Ballon d'Or, so knowing that you're against the biggest keeper in the world is of course motivation, but it's also a more difficult task.
And I have to ask you, I mean, obviously you've scored a dozen goals now this season. I'm wondering where I need to put my money, Harry Kane or Erling Haaland for the European Golden Boot. Could be a few others involved, but you're both off to a good start.
Don't forget Kylian as well. He had a great start as well. So they're doing amazing. So I need to try to keep up.
Thanks, Emma. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Well done today.
9 of 15 goals he scored, though. 15 City have scored this season in the league, and he's got 9 of them. That's what Pep Guardiola's talking about. You cannot, as good as he is, just rely on him all the time.
Yeah, you know what I love and I find really interesting is that he referred to someone else because Kylian Mbappe has had a really good start to the season. There's no doubt that he watches him and looks at his numbers and thinks, I have to keep scoring, I have to be better than him. I have to score this weekend because if he does, and then I want to get ahead of him. And I want as many goals as possible. And that's his mentality. I love his mentality. It's just about goals. He's very different to a lot of centre-forwards and a lot of goal scorers. I know he scores all sorts of goals, but most forwards want to be involved in the game. He's developed this where he's not bothered. He doesn't have to touch the ball. So long as he gets one touch and he scores with it, he's quite content with that. And I think you can see that in his game. He's a killer. He's deadly. You can't afford to give him the opportunity. If he goes through one-on-one with that Brentford chance in the second half, he scores that, and that's a big difference. And they have to keep him fit.
Do you have to be a certain type of mentality for that? Because you see a lot of strikers, they want to be involved in the game. And as you say, he's quite happy to go long periods.
Yeah, you have to be selfish. You have to have that straight line mentality. His life and his game is about goals. You can see the energy it brings to him. You can see the smile it brings to him. If he doesn't score, he's one of these guys where he'll be grumpy. He'll be miserable. He'll be a nightmare to live with. He won't be able to sleep at night because goals mean that much to him. His life is goals. His game is about goals. He can park all the other stuff. He can park bringing people into the game. He can park flicking on. He doesn't have to be involved at all. All he wants is that one deadly killer touch. More often than not, he gets it.
Is that what you were like going into Euro 96 then?
Well, I hadn't scored for England for 2 years, so probably not, no. But I did get 37 for Blackburn.
There you go. And Marmoush coming back, and as I say, Turkey, they've got players that can shoulder that responsibility.
Yeah, and they'll have to. I think that's what Pep was getting at. He's trying to, he loves Haaland, of course, he's the main man, but also he's given just a little subtle reminder, we need goals elsewhere. It's not just about Haaland, it's a team game. And what I would say, and probably Haaland doesn't get a mention as well, is his defensive side of things as well. We see him come back today for the long throw, head balls clear. We see him challenging for the deep free kicks. Winning a free kick and start laughing. He's on the ground, his teammates picking him up. Because he said it's a battle. Every away game in the Premier League, it's a battle. And I think he enjoys that side. He was angry the other night when they gave away the lead in Monaco. He done an interview after the game. You could tell he was really angry. And I think Haaland stepped up now as a leader in the dressing room. He signed this long contract. He's not just a brilliant goal scorer. I think he's a team player all of a sudden. I think he's taking that extra responsibility on his shoulders, and that's quite refreshing to see as well.
And they need that, don't they? Because they've lost some big leaders in the summer. From that
No, absolutely, yeah. And I go back to my point, what I said earlier. Whilst he's fit, whilst he's in this form, then I wouldn't worry too much about Manchester City. They might concede a few at the other end, but when you've got him in this form and this confidence, you're always going to have a chance. I mean, he's one of, if not the best goal scorer in the world. He's phenomenal. He really is. He's got almost everything. We've seen a great part of his game today where someone thinks they can go head to head with him and be as physical as him. You can't. 6 foot. He's a giant. 6 foot. What is he? 6'4", 6'5", and he's as quick as they come once he gets into his stride. He's so clever. He knows where the ball's going to be. His finishing is magnificent, and is he strong as an ox? Doesn't get much better than that.
He's the perfect striker. If you were building an AI striker, he'd be the man. Quick, good in the air, strong. A bit like the man next to me, I'd say.
He always finishes with a nice.
A nice teammate, you see.
Hey. You've been good teammates today. Thank you very much indeed, Shay. And